Friend, how are you? I am Advocate Gaurav Kumar Gupta. I am Chartered Accountant. I am MBA Finance, Sikkim Manipal University, and postgraduate programming in Management and Finance, Cosmic Business School, New Delhi, and postgraduate certificate in Management, Finance, All India Management Association, and PhD Management से the my project my project Derivative Market Future Trend Analysis. आज जो हम टॉपिक डिस्कस कर रहे हैं वो मार्सेलिंग एंड एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ एविडेंस। मार्सेलिंग ऑफ एविडेंस क्या होता है? मार्सेलिंग ऑफ एविडेंस मीन्स अरेंजिंग द एविडेंस ऑफ द पार्टीज in a proper manner. Under each issue charged to be proved, it is the sequencing of the evidence in such a way which idea to the proper appreciation of evidence by the court. Good marshalling of evidence is a per condition to good appreciation of the evidence. A step that a step that can be followed for proper marshalling of evidence are as follow. Examining all the evidence whether oral documentary are produced by the parties. After that, arrange all the connected evidence together out of the whole collection of evidence. Bring those evidence together under the analysis of an issue, point of determination, which are relevant for the determination of that issue or point. The complete testimony of any witness is not to be stated under one issue. Any you have to pick only those statements from the larger testimony of the witness, which are helpful in proving the particular fact in issue. This is the most important task, and for a better appreciation of evidence, it should be done meticulously. Suppose Suppose the fact to be proved in is the intention of the accused. There are four witnesses who have given their testimonies with regard to all the facts they know, and these witnesses in their larger deposition have also stated such facts which are relevant under section 40 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 to prove the intention of the accused. In order to marshal their oral evidence with respect to intention of the accused, only so much part of their testimony shall be picked which is helpful in proving that mental elements intention, and after that the appreciation of that part of the testimony will be done. Meaning and purpose of appreciation of evidence. Appreciation of evidence basically means होता है weighting the reliability and the trustworthiness of the evidence adduced in case under section 3 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 means, and they include all the statement which the court permits required to be made before it by witness, oral evidence in relation to matter of fact under inquiry, and all document including electronic record produced for the inspection of the court, documentary evidence. Section 5 of Indian Evidence Act 1872, which is a declaratory provision, provide that a party can give the evidence to prove only the fact in issue, relevant fact, and no evidence can be given regarding any other fact. Also, as per Section 136, paragraph 1 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, whenever any party wants to produce any evidence to prove any fact, the court may first ask the party to prove how that fact is relevant as per the Evidence Act section 655. If the party prove the relevancy of the fact, only the court allow the party to prove that fact by producing evidence. However, when the fact is manifestly relevant, then the court may directly allow the party to give evidence to prove that fact. So while appreciating the evidence in writing your judgment, first thing you have to do is to establish the relevancy of fact under Section 6255 Evidence Act. Another point to be kept in mind is that only those facts which are proved by the party with the help of trustworthy evidence are to be taken into consideration by the court to decide the case. This is because it is the mandate of Section 165, paragraph 1 of the Evidence Act that judgment should be based on the facts which are relevant and duly proved. Therefore, at the time of writing judgment, whether civil or criminal, the first step is to be establish the relevancy of fact given in the questions so that the evidence can be admitted on those facts. Next step is the appreciation of the evidence to check the reliability and trustworthiness of the evidence produced by the party on those relevant facts. If the evidence produced is credible, is not fabricated, etc., then it can prove the fact. After the appreciation of evidence regarding a given fact, if the evidence is found trustworthy, the fact is said to be duly proved. The flying step will give a better understanding of appreciation of evidence is judgment writing. एस्टेब्लिश पहला स्टेप में लिखेंगे जजमेंट राइटिंग में एस्टेब्लिशिंग रिलेवेंसी ऑफ फैक्ट while the writing a judgment candidate should first establish that how the given fact relevant under the provision of Indian Act 1872. स्टेप नंबर 2 में लिखेंगे admissibility of evidence. Admissibility of evidence. The next step is to be lead the evidence on the fact established to be relevant so as to prove the fact itself. It is to be kept in mind that Evidence Act allow only those evidence to be admitted by court which will prove the fact relevant to the case, the fact in issue in the case. तीसरा स्टेप लिखेंगे एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ एविडेंस. एविडेंस का एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द एविडेंस इज डन द चेक रिलायबिलिटी ऑफ द एविडेंस प्रोड्यूस टू प्रूव द रिलेवेंट fact, the fact in issue. Step number 4. If evidence is reliable, then it will prove the relevant fact or fact in issue. Relevant fact in issue, and this is the stage when the fact is said to duly proved. Step 5. Last step is the right decisions on basis of the relevant fact duly proved. उसका रहा है मैनर ऑफ एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ एविडेंस. एविडेंस का मैनर क्या है, एप्रिसिएशन क्या है. इट इज क्लियर फ्रॉम दोज above discussion that the stage of appreciation of evidence comes only after the fact is proved to be relevant fact under the provisions of Indian Evidence Act. So proving the relevancy is the first step towards appreciation of evidence. In order to establish the relevancy of fact on sound have a proper understanding of the section 655 of Indian Evidence Act 1872. Also establishing the relevancy is important because evidence is allowed to be produced only on the relevant fact. One of the most important points the aspirants should keep in mind is that at the time of establishing the relevancy, the reason should also be stated as why a fact is relevant under any particular section. After this, the evidence adduced to prove the relevant fact, the fact in issue has been appreciated to check its reliability and trustworthiness. Appreciation of oral evidence. Oral testimony of any witness can be appreciated by flowing away. By looking at his cross-examination. If he remains uncontroverted in his cross-examination, then he is reliable witness. By looking at testimony of other witness, reliable testimony of other witness can be taken into account to appreciate oral evidence of a witness by checking whether the other witness have also deposed in tune with the witness whose testimony is being appreciated otherwise. By looking at documentary evidence adduced in the case, documentary evidence adduced in a case can also be looked at to check whether the testimony of witness is being the contradicted, corroborated by the documentary evidence. By looking at pleading of parties. In civil case, an additional point has to be kept in mind while the appreciating testimony of witness is deposition. should not be beyond the pleading. Appreciation of documentary evidence. Documentary evidence adduced in any case can be appreciated by flowing way by looking at oral testimony. Oral testimony of a witness who has the adduced the documentary evidence and has relied on it, and oral testimony of a witness who has deposed any things about the document can be taken into account to check the reliability of a documentary evidence. By looking at other documentary evidence, other reliable documentary evidence can be taken into account to check reliability of document under appreciation. By looking at pleading of party in civil case, an additional point has to be kept in mind while appreciating any documentary evidence. It must not be beyond the pleading of the party. This principle of appreciations can be illustrated with the help of some examples. Suppose it has been given in a questions: A committed theft in B house, and just after the B went to lodge FIR. The fact that just after the B went to lodge FIR is relevant under Section 6 of Indian Evidence Act House of Birth, because the fact of lodging FIR immediately is automatically, spontaneously, and logically connected with the fact in issue, theft. These are the reason as to why it formed the part of same transaction. Hence, it formed the part of same transaction. It is also relevant under Section 8 of Indian Evidence Act House of Author. This is the subsequent conduct of victim influenced by the fact in issue, theft. Till this point, the relevancy of the fact being immediate when to lodge the FIR has been established. Now comes the stage of appreciation of evidence adduced to prove the fact. Now suppose it is given in questions that we got examining himself as prosecution witness PW1 and the deposed that immediately after the commission of theft he went to lodge the FIR, remained unrebutted in his cross-examination that the FIR was produced and duly proved. Then we can appreciate the testimony of PW1 by writing that since PW1 remained uncontroverted in his cross-examination, was corroborated under Section 157 of Indian Evidence Act by FIR, in which time of offence and lodging of FIR mentioned PW1 is reliable witness, and the above said fact stand duly proved from his testimony. In this way, we have come to know that testimony of the oral evidence is trustworthy, reliable. Hence, this is how the oral evidence of B has been appreciated. To understand appreciation of evidence more clearly, let us take the above example of further level. Suppose the fact given in questions are as: A has committed theft in B house and Najesh was. C has been a coming out of B house with the stolen article in his hand. The fact of A coming out of B's house with a stolen article in relevant under Section 8 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872. It is the subsequent conduct of the accused influenced by the fact in issue, so the relevancy of this fact has been established. Now come the stage of appreciation of the evidence adduced to prove this fact. Now suppose it given in questions that the Najesh was, she was examining as PW2 and deposed that he had seen the accused coming out of B's house with the stolen articles, and in cross-examination. His testimony would remain undebuted. Then we can appreciate his testimony by writing that since PW2 remained the uncontroverted in his cross-examination, since as per Section 60 Indian Evidence Act, oral testimony of PW2 comes under the category of best direct evidence, as he stated about that fact which he had seen himself. Therefore, he is reliable witness, and the aforesaid fact stand duly proved from his testimony. Now let us take an example regarding the appreciation of documentary evidence. Appreciation of public documents. Suppose that in questions it is given that a person forged his, his caste certificate representing himself or belonging to ST community. While originally we belong to OBC community, the concerned officer was examining PW1 and he produced the voter list in which accusation belonging to OBC community. Here the voter list is public document as per the definition of public document under section 74 of Indian Evidence Act 1872 is relevant under section 35 of Indian Evidence Act 1872. State a fact in issue is made by and made by public servant is of official capacity. Hence, its relevancy is proved. The concerned concerned officer disposed. PW one that he has made the voter list in the performance his duty and remained the undebated in his cross-examination. Therefore, the trustworthiness of the trustworthiness of the voter list has been established. This is how to public document is appreciated. The basis of admissibility of the fact contained in public document is that they are public interest. They are made by the authorized competent agent of the public. Some important relevant section to be kept in mind for appreciation. Public document are section 35, 74, 76, 77, 65 का ये 65, 63 का 1 of Indian Evidence Act. MOA of the company registered with registrar of the company. Public document offered the in judgment writing में MO of the company registered with the regard register of the company. Entries made by the public officer in the site inspection, map and site memo. Banker's book of nationalized bank, Hindu marriage register, death certificate, order of civil court, electrical electoral roll, village record, census report, टाउन प्लानिंग रिपोर्ट. अगले वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करेंगे एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ मैप, एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ टेस्ट आइडेंटिफिकेशन पैरेड क्या होता है इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट में, एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ डाइंग डिक्लेरेशन, डाइंग डिक्लेरेशन का एप्रिसिएशन कैसे किया जाता है उसके बारे में जिक्र करेंगे. डाइंग डिक्लेरेशन जो मृत्युकालीन कथन होता है, मरने के बाद जो व्यक्ति उस चीज़ को बताता है उसको हम डाइंग डिक्लेरेशन के नाम से जानते हैं. आज का वीडियो यहीं पे हम वाइप आउट कर रहे हैं. डेट्स ऑल.